This isn't about Hollywood. It's about service, patience, and vision, and the weight they carry.
So like it was service. My service and my commitment to service spoke for me.
He started as an intern at 18, didn't produce his first film until 36.
You gotta keep working and allow that equity over time to build.
But vision comes with weight.
Because visions weigh something. And if you have not allowed the process to build your competency to handle the manifestation of your vision, that vision will crush you.
Root yourself, then grow.
You gotta plant yourself, root yourself. Men and women are talking at each other, not with each other.
So true.
And as men, you know, I think we should really practice being of service.
Yeah.
And as a reward to that, love was provided.
And when the work meets the weight, the numbers follow.
We made that film for $14 million. It opened to $30 million, and it went on to do $100 million.
This is Devon Franklin.
A lot of folks want to quit after 18 days.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying, hey, I stuck in there for 18 years.
They say by 2054, African Americans will have 0 to negative net worth. In simplest terms, pretty much they're saying that we will be in the red. I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to help African Americans, and not just African Americans, but everyone, and get out of the red and get into the black. We're building a community of individuals who want to get out of debt, who want to build wealth, and get into the black. We are almost at 1 million community members who are aligning with that vision, with that mission. But oftentimes I get messages saying, man, I'm in the community, but then you're not subscribed. One of the simplest things and a free thing that you can do to help keep Neatness Network and the table going is simply hitting that subscribe button. We are almost at 1 million subscribers. At the time of recording this, we're at 980,000, there's 20,000 more. And man, I'm simply and super excited that you, if you have subscribed, thank you for being a part of this community. There's a lot of great things going, but if you haven't, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and join this amazing community of people that by 2054, they don't want to be a part of that stat. They want to be amongst the individuals who are consumer debt-free, building wealth, passing down legacy, and enjoying their life. Do me a favor before we get into today's show, hit that subscribe button and share today's show. Hey, thank you. Let's get to it. What if I told you that a man who started as an unpaid intern has now built a movie business, a movie empire that has made hundreds of millions inside the box office, sits on the board that decides the Oscars, and just dropped a powerful Netflix movie that could change Hollywood forever? Y'all know him as my dear friend and my brother, Devon Franklin, the producer. Verity calls one of the top 10 to watch, and the one and only Oprah Winfrey calls a different kind of spiritual teacher, and that he is. But he's here to talk about not only his latest movie, but how he built $1 million plus empire by doing something most people think is possible. Watch this, staying true to his faith while making serious money, and serious more so, I would say, impact in Hollywood. I want you to check out his latest trailer.
All right, next up we got Ruth Mobley.
She's right here. No,
Oh, there she is. Don't be shy.
You got this.
Let me tell you a love story. The best love stories don't start with fireworks.
I'm Bo. I've never been shot down with an before.
Sometimes they start with the tiniest of sparks.
I got a job at the House of Azra Winery.
An old friend of mine owned that winery. He had a son.
If that ain't a gift from God, I think I'm gonna need another one.
I think you're gonna need a hose.
How long have you been singing?
My whole life.
Oh, what a beautiful voice you have.
So, what's his name? When do I meet him?
There's just so much he doesn't know yet.
You need to fulfill your obligations to me and
Get back in the studio. Somebody I want you to meet.
How do you know Babyface?
Thought it was impossible.
No one has ever done anything this beautiful for me.
It's nice seeing the side of you.
I will take every single thing that you care about.
I don't get to live happily ever after.
I know your love is faithful.
This is crazy. You barely even know me.
Well, maybe I know all I need to.
Your love is always kind.
Girl, watch your back.
I can't risk you getting hurt.
Love is all that matters, Ruth.
But I am so grateful that
Every love story starts with truth.
Where is she?
With trust.
Where you go, I go.
you feel like this.
And sometimes tragedy.
And all I wanna say, she saved my soul.
It was the miracle of you that made this happen.
Your love brought me.
That's his latest project, Ruth and Boaz, hitting Netflix actually this Friday if you're watching this when it came out today. And today, Devon is going to break down exactly how he built what he built, why he's doing it, and how this movie is actually an impactful and powerful thing that you need to check out. Y'all, so can y'all welcome back to the table, but for the first time, live in the studio, my brother and dear friend, Devon Franklin. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
You good, bro?
I'm great.
DC.
DC, yeah. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. I love being in the studio. Studio's amazing.
Man, thank you, man. And I said this before, but I want to say it live in the world, man. Congrats on your marriage,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you, man. Hey.
We were joking. Devon Franklin beat me, y'all. He beat me.
Yes, I did. Man, listen, what does scripture say? He that findeth the wife.
Finance is a great thing.
It finds a good thing and obtains the favor of the Lord.
Listen, man.
Come get this favor, my brother.
Listen, I'm on it. I'm right behind you, man. I'm so serious. But I want to get straight into it, Devon. My audience, man, they come to me because they want financial advice and financial motivation, but also they want inspiration on how to pursue their dreams. And doing my research for today, because I really want to dive in more to like your particular journey. You started as an unpaid intern with Will Smith, producing partner. How did you survive during that time? Because if I'm not mistaken, you started for free.
Yeah.
Working in Hollywood.
Yep.
But you were pursuing your dream. Mm-hmm. What was the motivation behind that to do it for free? And how did you even survive that season?
Yeah, well, the motivation was, I did it while I was going to college. So I went to the University of Southern California.
Okay, so
and what was interesting was when I went to the University of Southern California, originally I wanted to go as a film major.
Okay.
And however, when even now, like if you were to apply to University of Southern California, you still have to apply to their film program separately.
Wow.
Because it's like one of the top film schools, if not the top film school in the world. And so originally I thought, I'm going to go become a film major.
Yeah.
But I got rejected from the film school at USC, but I got accepted to the USC in general admission.
Okay.
So when I got there, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So I decided to take a business major and do a film minor. But I also realized that even though I had a desire to work in entertainment, at that time, 18 years old, I had no experience working in entertainment. So I knew I had to get an internship to give me real world experience inside the business.
Yeah.
And so getting that internship, working for the management company of Will Smith, and at that time, that company managed Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. They weren't even married yet, so it was just Jada Pinkett at that time.
Okay.
Babyface.
Yeah.
So many other, great talent at that time. And so for me, it was an opportunity once I got the internship, even though it was unpaid financially, it was actually paid experientially.
What went through your heart? Because you said, man, you was turned down by Southern Cal's film school.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they get turned down, when their dream gets turned down, a lot of them will quit. What made you come up with another avenue, another route, rather than saying, you know what, maybe I'm not good enough because they deny me?
Yeah, it was just more about being perseverant and really just continuing to be tenacious and continue to not allow that rejection to for me not to interpret that rejection as misdirection.
Yeah.
Because so often, like if I allowed them to reject me, and then I interpreted that rejection as not being good enough, then I'm misdirected. So for me, it was like, okay, that means I'm rejected, but let me then just be redirected.
Yeah.
Right? And so I said, okay, I'm going to keep pursuing this. And even if I had gotten into school, I knew I needed an internship.
Yes, sir.
It's one thing to think about what you want to do. It's another thing about putting yourself in an environment to get that experience to confirm what you want to do. And so, the way that I was just so focused, because I had a desire and a dream. I wanted to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I was committed to that. And I just was not going to take, no for an answer. And so I needed to find a way to get my foot in the door, and the internship was the best way to do that.
Now, working for free as an intern, we have several interns here at our company as well. And I'm always encouraging them like, hey, some of them work for me, not necessarily for free, but it's almost close to free.
Yeah.
But I'm always trying to give them something practical that money just can't buy. I'm curious, what is one thing you've learned in that season of your life that you are applying today with this amazing Devon Franklin business that you've built with movies that are inspiring millions? What is one lesson you learned for free that you just can't attach money to?
Yeah, always to be of service.
Wow.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. When I was an intern, you know, there wasn't anyone giving me instruction.
Okay.
You know, I had to, when I'm that first day on the internship, you know, I basically, you know, they had a place for me to sit in the file room. So, you know, no instruction. So, you know, I just did what I had learned in church, which is to be of service. So went around and said, you know, what are your coffee orders and what are your lunch orders to all the assistants, and, you know, started running errands and then copying scripts and filing papers. And at the time, you know, faxes were a big deal. So I'd get all the faxes that came through and distribute those. So I learned to be of service. And that is what got me then to get into relationship with people like a Will Smith or Benny Medina, you know, who manages Jennifer Lopez right now. He's been with her for forever. So like it was service. My service and my commitment to service spoke for me. And so that's the same thing that I do now, you know, in service to the audience that I make content for, or even if I'm acting, you know, in service to the audience that's going to watch the performance, in service to the studios that I work with, you know, Netflix and Tyler Perry Studios and Prime and so many other Hollywood studios, like being in service to the production and service to the crew. That is something that if we always have that service mentality,
that's good.
You may have periods of unemployment, but you'll never be out of a job.
Yeah.
Because that is something that people just, when you do it and you do it with excellence, it'll open up every door. And so that's what I really have based my entire, you know, life and career on.
No, you really have, man. Every time I talk to you and ask you a question, man, you've always been, I felt I want to help you win side of things. And I just want to appreciate you for that. So you went from an intern for free, dealing with life at that time and growing. I want to talk about, how did you go from intern to starting your business, getting your first movie? What did that season look like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, internship was 18 years old.
Okay.
I didn't actually produce my first film until 36.
Wait. 18, first film, 36?
Yes.
Did you feel, and let's be real, because you ain't that much older than me, so that wasn't too much longer ago.
Right.
Did you feel like God was delaying you, or did you feel like, hey, I'm behind at all going from 18 to 36?
Well, it wasn't so much about feeling like I was behind. You know, I think in my early years, you know, I was in a rush.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I graduated college with the business plan for my production company.
Okay.
You know, and at 22 years old, I really wanted that company to be funded, and nobody wanted to fund my company. Wow. And so my first job, no one offered me a producer's chair. They offered me an assistant chair. So, you know, a lot of times it's one thing to have the vision. That's great.
Yes, sir.
But you then have to allow yourself to be put into a process for that vision to not only be manifest, but for you to be ready to actually handle the vision, because visions weigh something. You know, they're not light. They come with a lot of weight. They come with a lot of pressure. They come with a lot of stress. And if you have not allowed the process to build your competency to handle the manifestation of your vision, that vision will crush you. It will crush you. And so at 22, I had the vision, but I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the competency. So I'm so glad that God, you know, held back the manifestation so that I could be prepared. So I took a job as an assistant working at Will's company for his manager.
Okay.
I did that for 2 years. Then I left and I became a junior executive in development for Tracy Edmonds and Babyface's company at that time called Edmonds Entertainment.
Okay.
Did that for about almost a year and a half. And then I got hired as a studio executive for MGM. They had just made the Barbershop movie, and that was going, you know, that was doing extremely well. They just did Barbershop 2, and so I went there.
Okay.
I worked on Beauty Shop, which was the third installment in that franchise.
Yeah.
And I also worked on Be Cool, which was the sequel to Get Shorty with The Rock and Vince Vaughn and John Travolta and Uma Thurman. And then while I was at MGM as a junior, you know, studio executive, MGM got sold to Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Yes.
And I was one of 2 executives to make the transition to Sony Pictures Entertainment. And the irony about that is that when I got to become an executive at Sony Pictures, they had a production deal with Will Smith. So what was amazing is that I was put right back in relationship, you know, with him and the company that actually laid the foundation for my career.
Yes, sir.
And the first movie that I worked on was Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
And again, talking about being of service, you know, I was the junior executive on that film. And, you know, and it was cool to go to set, and Will's like, oh man, you're the suit now, you know, that was cool. But what was also cool was when I saw the first cut of the film, I was so moved by it. And I said, you know what, I got to take this message of hope and inspiration to the audience that I know is going to really appreciate it, which is the church.
Yes, sir.
And so I put together a business plan, a 40-page business plan on how to take this message of faith to the faith-based audience, what I could do with Will. And, you know, everybody signed off on it. I took Will to MegaFest at that time, you know, facilitated the relationship with Bishop Jakes and brought the whole family. And then we did personalized greetings to all the top churches in the country. We did a faith-based trailer for Pursuit of Happiness. Anyway, that became very successful. Pursuit of Happiness made almost as much as the James Bond film Casino Royale that was released domestically that same year. So James Bond made like 166 domestically, and Pursuit of Happiness did around 160, something like that. Wow. So it was a massive success. But the reason I highlight that, it goes back to what we talked about earlier, service. I am a junior executive. I know that Will Smith has done so much for me. I know that Sony Pictures has given me a job. How can I make an impact? Where is the seam in the organization? Because when you find that seam of service, that's how you can alter your garment, right? If I come in there and I just start cutting the fabric, it's going to look terrible. But if I find that seam, I can open the seam and then I can insert what needs to be inserted with the garment looking better, not worse. And so for me, it was like, wow, this is the seam. The seam is I see something nobody else sees.
Yes.
And I can bring an audience that nobody else can bring.
Yeah.
And that led to that success of that film. And so that put me on a path. I worked on 7 Pounds and Captain Phillips and 21 and Jumping the Broom and Sparkle and the Karate Kid remake. And then 2014, I worked on a film called Heaven is for Real. We made that film for $14 million. It opened to $30 million, and it went on to do $100 million. To date, it's one of the most successful faith-based movies in Hollywood. Now, 2 days after opening a weekend, I was in the office of the chairman of Sony Pictures at that time. Her name was Amy Pascal. Okay. And Amy was like, oh my goodness, you know, this is amazing. This is your movie. You know, you made this movie. It's going to make so much money for us. We want to promote you. We want to give you a raise. And I told her, thank you, but I'm not taking it. I said, I'm quitting. And she was like, well, what are you talking about? I said, I came to Hollywood to start my own production company, and I'm making y'all too much money I can't participate in. So quitting, I'm done. And I said, not only am I quitting, but I want you to give me a deal. I want you to fund my production company. And for a moment, she thought about it. And then she was like, okay, we'll do it, but you can't negotiate with anyone else. I said, that's fine as long as the deal is good. Right. Now, here's what's important about this. By the time I made that request, I had been in the business 18 years. Yes, sir. I had been at Sony Pictures at that time for about 8 or 9 years. Wow. So I knew what I had deposited into that account. Wow. So often, you know, this generation is in such a hurry. They're trying to make withdrawals from accounts they never put anything into. You know, it's like when you buy a house, you don't get that equity immediately. Right. You gotta keep working and allow that equity over time to build. Yes, sir. And then over time, you have enough equity to take out of that account. Yes, sir. Same thing with your career. Same thing with success. You got to pay your time. You got to put in time. Yeah. And over time, you will know when you have enough equity to be able to take that leap of faith or to be able to go out there and do this. And so I did not go before her before it was my time. And it still took faith. It took faith. It was a scary moment. Like, wow, I'm quitting my job. I don't know what she's going to say. I don't. But at the end of the day, I'm like, wait, if I can do this, if I can, you know, make these commercial films that also have these messages of hope and faith and inspiration, and do it for an audience that's underserved. And I've got the, you know, from Not Easily Broken to Jumping the Broom to Sparkle to Heaven is for Real, you know, not to mention all the other films I talked about. If I can, I have a business plan. I have actually factual evidence that I'm good at this. Yes, sir. And so why not invest in myself? And so it was a calculated leap of faith that was built upon time and effort and being of service. And so I share that because A lot of folks want to quit after 18 days.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying, hey, I stuck in there for 18 years. And then the thing about it is, man, once I had the company, it's one thing when you're inside a company and you know your phone's ringing off the hook and people are calling you, because when you're a studio executive, you're in a very powerful position in Hollywood. I was one of the highest ranking black studio executives at the time.
Wow.
And one of the youngest at the time. And because I had reached the senior vice president ranks before I quit and started Devon Franklin Entertainment. But your phone is ringing all the time when you're a studio executive. When you run your own company as a production company, you know, your phone's not ringing. You have to generate the content. You've got to go find the material. You've got to put the thing together. Yeah. So it's one thing for me to have enough faith to be able to go after it. It's another thing to then have the company and say, wow, now it's on me.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a boss.
Yes, sir.
I don't have someone to go down in the hall and say, hey, can you do this? This is on me.
Yes, sir.
And so I really had to rely upon all of the foundation that I had learned up until that point.
Yeah.
If, to your point, like early in the career, were there times when I was frustrated? When I was mad? Yes.
Yeah.
There were times when I didn't understand God's plan. But once I started Devon Franklin Entertainment, I realized, oh God, you were preparing me. While in those moments when I was frustrated and I thought you were delaying and I thought you maybe even were denying, God was saying, I wasn't doing any of that. I was preparing you because I don't want you to just have something. I want you to be able to manage it. You know, I mean, even if you look at David in the Bible, right? He was anointed that he was going to be the next king. He didn't go straight to the throne.
Facts.
He went back to the chief. Okay. And it was over time that he got to a place where finally, once he was on the throne, he knew what to do with the throne because he went through a process. Yeah. And so I started, my company over 10 years ago, did Miracles from Heaven with Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah, and then did Breakthrough with Chrissy Metz and Topher Grace, and then did an animated film called The Star, which is a story of the nativity, but from the animals' point of view with Oprah and Tyler Perry, and then did a film called Flamin' Hot. About the creator of Flamin' Hot Cheetos that Eva Longoria directed, and then, just did Ruth and Boaz for Netflix, and another film called Relationship Goals for Amazon Prime Video, which will be out next year. And then what's cool, man, is like, because I focused so much on the foundation of my career, which I call the trunk. Right? The trunk of the tree was, film production, and learning to become excellent in that.
Yes.
So as I pursued that and devoted my sole focus to that, then the different branches of my tree started to grow.
Come on.
So the first branch that grew was me as an author. I wrote my first book while I was an executive at Sony Pictures called Produced by Faith. And then along the way, wrote other books. I've written about 6 books. And then as I did that, then, being a TV personality, that happened, start being a featured guest on Dr. Oz when that was out, and, Good Morning America, and going on Oprah Super Soul Sunday show and doing all of these things. That happened, and then preaching's always been, a branch of the tree. And then, a few years ago, what another branch grew called acting. I didn't ever expect to become an actor, but opportunities were presented and I was excited about it. And so the reason why I share all of this is that, this success that I have, comes from that commitment to serve and to build the trunk. There's a lot of people that have a lot of branches, but no trunk. And so it's like, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of interests and a lot of gifts, but I would really encourage anyone watching to identify, well, what's the gift that I do the best?
So good.
And what's the gift that I can actually use to support myself?
Yes, sir.
And that doesn't mean that I give up on all the other gifts. No, it's just saying, okay, this is the main one right now. This is going to be the trunk of my tree. And I'm going to give it time for these other branches to have a support system. Because too often it's like we're trying to do all these things and we don't plant ourselves.
That's so good.
And then there's a lot of frustration. Why? Because there isn't any planting. You got to plant yourself, root yourself, so that then you can grow according to what God has designed.
What's going on, family? I want to thank my friends over at Dobbly for sponsoring today's show. You see, with rising rent, inflation, and high interest rates, your credit score matters more than ever. Whether you are trying to buy a home or just qualify for an apartment, it all starts, honestly, with having good credit. You see, this is where my friends at Dobbly AI comes in. Watch this. It's a 100% free app that helps you build, fix, monitor, and even protect your credit with no confusion and no stress. Just smart AI-powered support that works 100% consumer debt-free. Dobbly AI helps you build credit fast helps you fix errors quickly and stay protected with weekly updates, real-time alerts, and here's the best part about it, a $1 million ID theft insurance policy. Here's what I love about Davly. On average, users are seeing about 34 points go up when it comes to their credit report. No credit card required, and premium members average an 82-point boost on their credit score. The better your score, the more you save, and the more you get approved. Listen, I need you to go check out my friends over at anthonyoneal.com/Dovly. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com, DOVLY. If you're tired of hearing no because of your credit scores, it's time to take control with my friends. Go check them out right now, and let's get back to today's show.
This why you my brother. Ask you one question, you just gonna preach it down, because I mean you're making it so good, man. Because it's like what you just said, it is so good. It reminds me of myself. I've had the opportunity to work with a I think he's almost a billionaire now, but a huge name in the space, right? I served there for 7 years, and while I was there, man, I was like, God, I had so many ideas, Devon, that I was like, man, I could do this, and I know we could do this, but I couldn't do it because I was called to serve another man's vision.
That's right.
And God, I would get frustrated with God sometimes. Like, God, I know if I do this, I know I could just really make a huge impact. But God said, no, I'm preparing you. And for years, I had to be of service. I had to submit. And sometimes submitting and being of service is not always easy.
No.
But everything that I learned during that time, I'm now implementing it now in the season to where God has allowed me to build my own business when it comes to the financial literacy space. And I'm like, God, I get it now. I get it why I had the long nights, frustrating moments, but I learned so much there that I now am prepared even better for where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage you, and I mean, thank you for that words. Yeah. I do have one problem with you being an actor, though. The latest TV episode that you're on right now. Divorce Sisters. How you ended the first part of the season, man, I threw my popcorn at the TV. I said, Devon, really? This how you gonna end it, bro? Really, bro? I want to know how is this gonna happen? If you all have not watched that, man, y'all have to go watch it. I know we're promoting Ruth and Boaz today, but I mean, brother, like that's Divorce Sisters, the title did not attract me as a man, but because it was you, I was like, that's my brother. I'm gonna watch it. I was glued from episode 1, man.
Hey, man, that show was good.
It's good, bro.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, Tyler killed it on that one.
He murdered. He
That's his best show to me. No disrespect to everybody else, the fans of his other shows, but that show, it's the best. And the acting, I mean, and the cast members, I mean, I'm just grateful to be included.
No, man, it was a good one. It was a good one. But we're here to talk about Ruth and Boaz. And before we get to that movie, which, man, I want to say thank you up front for producing this movie. I got to ask you this question, though, because I feel as if what you've been able to accomplish inside of Hollywood, being a proud Christian, being a proud man of God, I just have to be like, man, I don't see a lot of you in there who's boldly about God, but still making a huge impact. Everyone knows Devon Franklin's name in the industry. How do you keep faith so strong in Hollywood when, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have friends in Hollywood and a lot of them ain't saved. How do you keep Devon Franklin pure and integral and God in a place that is not saturated by God?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. And I don't even know if I have a good answer other than I understand that I'm called to be there, right? Sir. Like, so I felt that call as a teenager, that this is where God was calling me. And then, so my response to the call was to answer and to pursue. Yeah. And then pursue and then see. Okay, God, I feel this is what you're calling me to do. Yeah. Now let me go pursue what I'm hearing as a way to answer that call. Yeah. And then I have to get confirmation. Right. And the confirmations come in the form of open doors along the way. So the first door, going back to the internship. Yeah. You know, there was, at the end of the internship interview, they asked me, you know, is there anything else that they wanted me to let them know? And I said, you know, that I observe the Sabbath. And I said, you know, and so, you know, and I'm a Christian, and that if, you know, this internship required me to work on the Sabbath, I would not take the internship. And so what I was doing, it wasn't even a conscious thing. It was more of like, I'm not trying to be in this business at the expense of my faith. I'm actually trying to make sure that this business can be funded by my faith.
Yes, sir.
And the only way to do that is to stand on my faith, to just say, okay, I'm not going to compromise this for that.
Right.
Because if God is in this, if God is truly calling me, then why would I need to compromise my belief in him to open a door? Because if I have to compromise, if compromising is the key, then that's not the door. The only way for me to know is to say, okay, this is what I believe. These are my principles. And if this works, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. So to answer your question, as I got that confirmation that, oh, yes, they gave me the internship. Every job. Okay, you can't do this because of your faith. That's okay. And then all of a sudden, my faith became not only an asset to me, but to the bottom line.
Facts.
Because I'm able to see things and do things and market. And like, oh, people say, wow, you know how to make content for an audience that we don't even know how to talk to them.
Yes, sir.
And so for me, the path to staying faithful is because I realize that I'm not here for myself.
That's good.
I'm here because this is where God has anointed me and ordained for me to be. And then also with temptation, right? You can only be tempted by what you want.
Ooh.
Right? If you don't want something, it's not tempting.
Right.
It just isn't.
Right.
So someone can come in here and, offer you, sweet potato pie, and you're like, I don't like sweet potato pie. That's not tempting.
Ooh.
But someone comes in and says, here's a 7-up pound cake. You say, okay, wait. Hold on now. Wait.
Right.
So for me, I have never wanted Hollywood for Hollywood's sake.
That's so good.
So I'm not tempted by that, right? What I've wanted is, okay, how do I be obedient to who God has called me to be and to, operate in a field that he has ordained me to operate in and do it at the highest level and do it with excellence and success. And that doesn't mean that every day is perfect. We're all in this process, of trying to figure it out. And there are certainly some days that I say, okay, God, I could have done better.
Right.
I mean, there are some seasons I'm like, Lord, okay, I'm sorry. But overall, the commitment to stay faithful is because I know that he's put me there.
No, that's so good, man. I appreciate that. I want to talk about Ruth and Boaz.
Yes.
Why Ruth and Boaz? What made you want to produce this movie?
It was just living life, man. I had gone through divorce and was in a sermon series actually, and I was talking about what it means to be one of one. And, and that one of one is the power of being single. And originally that message was based upon the story of Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. And then as I was continuing the series of one of one, I started teaching from the book of Ruth.
Yeah.
And what was so powerful about that is that she didn't go looking for Boaz.
Yeah.
She wasn't looking for love at all. In the actual story, she had lost her husband.
Yeah.
And she was following the mother of her husband, who had also lost her husband. Yeah. So you have two widows. And so Ruth made a commitment to follow Naomi back to her homeland. Mm-hmm. And they needed to eat. So Ruth went to work.
Yeah.
And then while Ruth was working, she found herself in the field of Boaz. Mm. And Boaz wasn't taken by her beauty. He was taken by her work ethic.
Yes.
And said, wow, who is this that's working in the field? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And so what was so powerful to me is that here's a woman who is committed to service.
Yep.
And as a reward for her commitment, she found love. She was not even found love. She was gifted love.
Gifted love, yeah.
And so often we're out there looking for love. And as a result, we don't find it versus just being ready to receive it. So as I was studying that, it coincided with this deal that I have with Tyler Perry and Netflix. Okay. And I just said, wait a minute. This reads like a movie. I mean, the scripture.
Yeah.
I said, this reads like a movie. And then I was like, wait, there's never been a modern version of Ruth and Boaz. No. Not as far as I know.
Facts.
And there's never been one with black folks. Never.
Come on, man.
I said, I've never seen it.
Come on.
So that was the genesis. And then I worked with Mike Elliott and Corey Tynan, who are fantastic writers in Hollywood. We had done a number of films together. And I reached out to them. I pitched them, hey, why don't we do a modern version of Ruth and Boaz? And they were like, oh, we're in. And we just started developing the story. And we started going through the scriptures and we started identifying the parallels and what would be Moab today. And okay, maybe that's kind of like, Atlanta and this. And so we just went and just started, having a lot of fun creatively to take what was in the scripture and then find, creative ways to adapt it. But the heart of it, which was amazing to me, is that, as I'm doing this sermon series, as I'm developing this story, I end up finding, you know, my wife, Maria, you know, she's my Ruth. And it was so crazy as we were developing the story. There were some moments with my writers, I'm like, y'all wrote this? I said, I am living this moment right now.
Come on now.
And so it was just a really organic process of like living life and then saying, you know what, we gotta, you know, highlight love. We got to put love back on display. So often in our culture, men and women are talking at each other, not with each other.
That's so true.
And as men, you know, I think we should really practice being of service. And Boaz in this story, he's of service. He's not trying to get from Ruth. He's trying to give to Ruth.
That's good.
And as men, I think, you know, not being takers, but to be givers.
Ooh.
And for me, this movie really articulates that and showcases what chivalry looks like today. You know, I mean, courtship looks like, and it's a beautiful thing because I think relationships have gotten at times, and dating can be very transactional. And this movie is about relational. This movie is about, you know, how do you get back to the essence of what love is really about? And so these are the reasons why I wanted to do it. And I'm so excited, man. This movie, I mean, I've been screening it all around the country, and folks are just, I mean, people are clapping, they are laughing, they're crying. I mean, it's having an effect on people already that is just blowing my mind. And because we've never done it before. This has never happened.
I'm getting a little emotional because I'm like, man, I'm a little nervous to see the movie. You know, I'm a little nervous.
Why are you nervous, man? Don't be nervous.
I mean, I ain't nervous from a negative way. I'm gonna see it. I'm actually at the time of recording this. We recorded this last week. I'm gonna go see the screener next week in Atlanta. But by the time the show comes out, the movie is out, y'all. Just check it out. But I'm curious, Devon, what is one thing Boaz did that you think Boaz did in a movie that you think single men can learn from that we should start implementing when it comes to dating and pursuing love?
He looked to be a giver. And this is very important. As you know, just as a formerly single man, you know, when you go back to, you know, not to get overly religious, but when you go back to the scripture, you know, Ephesians chapter 5, you know, God says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And then the next verse, he gave. So after the command,
he gave
is to be a giver.
Come on, man.
And so often, you know, as men, what happens? You know, we have given to some and then they did not receive what we had to give. And then so we take that as a reason to then I'm not going to give anymore. And no. How do you know if you're giving to the right person? Because that person not only will receive what you have to give, but then they'll reciprocate. And sure, as a man, you can be giving and you can find yourself with someone who's a taker. That's okay. But don't let that get you out of being a giver.
That's so good.
Giving of your time, your consideration, your money, if that's what you have, you know, but just being someone that's like, hey, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give to the world, because what I have learned is what you give, you will get. What you sow, you will reap. And I think sometimes in culture, you know, there's a tendency to look like, what can I get from this person?
Facts.
And I would say, no, look to what can I give to this person? And if they don't want to receive it, that's okay. That's not your person. But be in the habit of giving, being generous, being attentive. Those are things that if you aspire to be a husband, and you're doing those things now, you're going to be a great husband. But if you're looking to like, okay, what can I get from this woman? What does this woman, you know, have for me that I can? Then you're going to lay a foundation where it's always going to be about what you can take and not about what you can give.
Oh, that's so good, man. See, I told you I'm a little nervous, y'all.
See the movie. You're going to love it.
See the movie. I'm going to go in there with an open heart. And
open heart.
Man. I mean, I agree with that, man. I think that is something for men, especially in this generation, it is hard dating. It is that, well, I'm going to take that back. It's not hard dating. I think the reason why I'm single is because of me. And not because of no other woman. It's just things that I had to work on. Like I told you before the show, like, man, I'm in a season now to where Anthony O'Neal is mature and ready now. I had to do some evolving and some maturing. From Ruth and Boaz, we talked about one thing Boaz learned that men can learn from Boaz. What is one thing ladies will learn from Ruth?
Yeah, I think that when you see, Ruth in this film, you see a woman who at the very beginning is in a lifestyle and in a life, but in a life that doesn't quite align with her spirit.
Gotcha.
And so she just feels that this isn't what is for her.
Yeah.
And so as a result, she's willing to risk her entire life as she knows it to pursue what she feels in her spirit.
So good.
And when you look at her commitment to take care of Naomi, and then they find themselves back in Pegram, Tennessee. They go from Atlanta to Pegram, Tennessee.
Okay.
And the thing about Ruth, which is so powerful, is that her whole focus is, how can I be of service?
Yeah.
How can I, make sure that we, her and Naomi have provision?
Yeah.
Here's the powerful thing. When love shows up in the form of Boaz, she's faced with the challenge.
Okay.
Even though she doesn't feel ready for love, she then still opens her heart to receive it. And so when you talk about what I believe, young women can take away, keep your heart open.
That's so good.
I know you've been through heartbreak. I know you've been through heartache. I know you've gone through, difficult things, and it's very easy to close your heart.
Yes, sir.
But keep it open.
Yes, sir.
And Ruth didn't go looking for love. She went to look to be of service, to follow her purpose, to follow her calling.
Yeah.
And as a reward to that, love was provided.
Okay.
But if she was closed off, she would never been able to receive it.
Wow.
And that's what I see so often in the culture that does, make me sad. It's like, oh, people are closed because of whatever hurt or whatever heartbreak or whatever disappointment. I mean, I can tell you, going through my own personal, challenges and difficulties, keeping my heart open.
Yeah.
No matter the pain, no matter how much you cry, no matter how much you shout, keep your heart open. Why? Because love can't only just get out, but it can come in. And so when you see Ruth, she opens her heart and she allows it to stay open. And even though there are some, there's some moments of conflict and tension, and she's saying, okay, can I do this? And is it going to work? And there's one moment in the scene where she's like, I don't get to live happily ever after because she thinks her past is going to dictate her future. But then you see how this love changes everything. And that's what I believe. Love changes everything. And that's why I wanted to make this movie, to let people know love is the most powerful force in the universe.
Man, I love it. All right, so I know the couples are looking at me like, all right, Anthony, talk to the single man, talk to the single woman. What can couples get away from this movie?
Couples can take away from this movie, again, we're just going to go back to the buzzword for this episode, service.
I love it.
If as a couple, you make an individual commitment to outserve one another. Your relationship is going to go to another level. And when you see this movie, you see Boaz sets the tone for what service looks like.
Good.
There's a scene we put in the film, which this isn't gonna ruin it. I think it'll actually get people to see it. There's a moment in the film when Boaz humbles himself before Ruth and washes her feet.
Oh my goodness.
The ordinance of humility, he washes her feet to say, hey, you know what? I am here to be of service to you.
So good.
And the core of my love for you is service. And if I'm called to love you, that means I'm called to care for you.
So good.
And so when you talk about couples, it's like, okay, the person that you say you're in love with, how deeply do you care about them and care for them? So what I hope couples get is the magic word in any relationship is consideration.
Man.
When your spouse feels considered, there is nothing that they then won't feel compelled to do because, oh, you considered me. Oh, wow, I like this type of coffee in the morning, and you put it out before you went to work. Or you knew that, the trash needed to go out, and you took the trash out to make sure I wouldn't have any problems. You knew that, oh, wow, you picked up this, I left my, gym clothes on the floor, and you picked them up. Like consideration.
So good.
And when people see Boaz when people see the movie Ruth and Boaz, I think people are going to see, wow, look at this couple that considers one another, that serves one another, that allows love to come in and out and be free flowing. And what happens? Their entire lives change. At the end of the day, no matter how much money you got, it's going to go, right? When we leave, we're not taking the money with us. But what we will leave and what is eternal is how we loved and how we allowed ourselves to be loved. And that is what is so important. And I just wanted to make a film that could highlight that in our culture right now.
Man, thank you. Thank you for making that kind of film. One of the things I was telling my therapist and my mom I think it's a couple months ago. I said, Mom, I'm at a season of my life to where I'm ready to serve my family.
Amen.
Serve my wife. If I'm blessed to have kids, even serve my kids. Because when I look at Jesus, he served us while leading us.
Amen.
And it's like you can't really question Jesus' leadership because he was a servant leader.
Absolutely.
He wasn't a demanding leader.
That's right.
Did he set rules and stuff that we should follow? Absolutely. But when you look and study his life, he was a servant leader. And I was like, Mom, this generation teaches men, or not this generation, but this modern culture teaches men, you got to be the man, you got to be macho, you got to say this is what it is. But that's not God. And I'm excited to watch this movie because it sounds like it's all about serving each other. How do you outserve each other? And I've watched my biological father outserve my mother, but then I watched my mother try to outserve my father. And to this day, I can't put too much out there, but them two are just rabbits, man. They can't keep their hands off of each other because like I see how serving each other makes them love each other. They've been married now, I'm 41, so almost 36, 37 years of marriage. And when I see their love for each other, it encourages me because I'm like, wow, serving each other gotten y'all to a point to where they're at a season of their life right now, Devon, to where my dad and mom can't live without each other.
I believe it.
And I'm like, it's easy to live with someone because you can manage that. But to get to the point to where you're like, I can't live without you?
Whew, that's powerful.
After 35, 36 years of marriage, I'm like, wait a minute. There's something else there. And it's like, man, my dad, we're going through an interesting season with my grandparents, and to see how he serves my mom in this season, how he's backing my mom in this season. I'm like, I want to do that for my wife one day. And I hate the fact that it took me this long to get to that place.
That's all right, man. Know? You're in your process.
And I appreciate that too, because I'm glad that I didn't marry when I wasn't ready, because then I would have hurt someone else's heart tremendously.
Sure.
And I'm happy that I've learned and evolved. Last question, y'all. Hey, listen, the show is out September 26th. If you're watching this when it comes out on the 24th on Wednesday, check it out on Netflix. It's actually already on Netflix saying, hey, it's coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. I've watched all of Devon Franklin's movies because he's just a brother. Met his amazing wife. She is dope, y'all. Listen, go subscribe to his channel, her channel. Lady, she's an amazing fitness pro, so she'll get you right and tight. I be looking at her videos like, y'all don't want to mess with that one. I'd be like, come on, bro. Don't get her upset. Love you, sis. Love you, sis. Love you. I got to ask this fun question. Which actor and actress probably shocked you the most out of all this? Which one I knew they were good, but they came even like better on this one. Which one would you say shocked you the most?
Oh, man.
All of them are good.
They're all good.
All of them good. The main one, Ruth, I just think, I'm gonna be quiet.
The great Soraya.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I mean, honestly, it's like everyone did a brilliant job. Yes. And I will say, you know, our three leads, I think would probably, have shocked me the most. You know, when you look at Tyler Lepley as Boaz, you look at Soraya as Ruth, and then you look at Felicia Rashad, the legendary Felicia Rashad, as Naomi. The thing that shocked me the most is that to see them transcend themselves and embody these characters. And, for Soraya and Tyler Lepley, they have had really great, phenomenal careers, and their career is on the rise. And this is the first time in a major, studio film that they're getting a chance to be, leading man and leading woman. Wow. And when you see how they, step up to the plate and, accept that challenge and bring so much heart and so much character and so much love and nuance to the performance is phenomenal. And then Felicia Rashad, I mean, when she shows up on set, she just brings an aura of dignity and class and excellence. Yes. And then when you see her performance, it's pitch perfect. Perfect. There's nothing about it that is, she didn't even really need a lot of direction. She just did it. Wow. And so I look at those three, and I would say, when you look at this film, you're going to see excellence on screen. Yes, sir. You're going to see them, transcend themselves and really embody these iconic characters that I believe will touch lives, not only for this generation, but for generations to come.
Man, listen, y'all, it's on Netflix. Rehab, the link inside the show description. Make sure y'all go check it out. Devon is no stranger here to our community. So y'all know me. Anybody I bring on the show, I ask you to buy their books, buy their products. Today, I'm asking you to go watch the show, and not just watch it, share it. And share it on Instagram, and share one thing that you learned about it. Because anytime we can support our Christian community, I think we got to go over and beyond. Not just Christian communities, Anthony speaking, not Devon speaking, this is Anthony speaking, the Black Christian community. We got to support our community because we need Devon to keep going. Amen. He said last year, next year he has the relationship goals coming out, and that's my other brother, Mike Todd. And so we gotta keep the Black Christian people going. And Devon's for everyone. He has relationships all over the place, but when it comes to ours, man, we gotta support. And so please go subscribe to, if you don't have a Netflix membership, go buy one. Watch the video. Go back and watch all the other videos that Devon has and share this with the world, y'all. All right? Yo, thank you so much, Devon, for coming on, brother. Man.
I appreciate it.
You got to come back. Definitely got to bring you and Mike Todd back to talk about.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a phenomenal.
Yes, we got to do that together.
That's going to be dope. Man. Yeah. Mike's been on here several times. Love you, Mike. Yo, listen, we'll see y'all on the next show. Peace out.